Right? What's up? This is Sci-Fi Express Lane. Your boy Jeff Carroll. I'm out here. I want to talk about something that kind of came up without me thinking of it, and it was the this racist book, right? And I don't even think I'm gonna mention the name of it, but I don't even think I remember. Oh, it is the Black Plague, the White Plague. All right, and I don't know who the author is because I don't think they're. I think they're an indie author, right? That's the best way to describe it without throwing shade. Although it could be shade, but I'll probably throw pity. Today, I want to express myself about racist science fiction books, and I guess just about them. There's nothing really, should we ban them? All those things will, I'll talk about. But yeah, racist science fiction books. I remember when I was first starting to read science fiction books with a passion, and I wanted to learn all about them. And I would go to bookstores and ask the salesperson, what's, it's a hot science fiction book. What are they all buying? Who's the top, who's hot right now? And of course I could have, gone with the classics, Asimov and all of them. And actually, I probably didn't think I even knew and understood, what those writers of those eras really represented at the time. And the writer, the salesperson pointed me to On Ballistic Station. And I was like, no. Yeah, it was On Ballistic Station, right? I was like, get out of here. All right, I'm going to check this out. David Weber. And I actually got a chance to meet David Weber and his wife at a convention right around the time I finished the book, or I was still reading it or something. And I'm impressed by the level of hatred that they have and how they mask it, right? How they tell the hate. So let me just say, all right, racist and how I see racism. Let me define that first. Racism is the manifestation of the fear of black people, right? So you can have a fear of black people. When you act upon it, that becomes racist, or the act becomes racist. So, and it's something that white people have. Black people can have a fear of black people, but it's more so self-hate. And other ethnicities can have a fear of black people too, but it's not on the same level of white people, because white people have a recessive gene that when they intermingle with black genes, like, have children, the children of the black genes dominate the white genes. And the child comes out more black, I guess. Genetics, right? Recessive, dominant genes, whatever. Anyway, it's their fear that all black people, or enough black people will mate with white people, and in H.G. Wells' future, The Time Machine, there will be no more white people left. Now, in David Weber's book, the hate is real subtle, just like it is in H.G. Wells' Time Machine. It's very subtle. And On Ballistic Station is a story about a female commander, Honor Arrington. It's very hard to say, easy to read, right? And she's stationed at the most undesirable base station in space, overlooking a planetary gate outside a planet. I forgot the name of the planet, but her base is called Ballistic Station, and she has to guard this planet. And the planet has nothing but natural resources, and the trading is is regulated. And she's the one that handles the gate, and down on the planet, they handle the regulations. However, just like in Avatar, just like in reality, the indigenous people of the planet have a problem, right? So they fight back. She's got that. She's got to deal with invaders, people trying to crash the gate. And on the planet, the people are first world. They're primary. You know, I don't say primitive. You got what I'm saying. And guess what they're called? They're called the Medusans. Now, that's not a big deal, right? We know Medusa had a power to turn men into stone. Now, these people are Medusans that are so ugly, they drive you insane if you look at them, right? Now, I don't know why ugly came in there. Maybe it's a power, you know, maybe they're so complex, right? And they're black, right? And all of this is described in the book. So that goes down as a very racist book in the sense that, you know, it's a series. I don't even know if they come back to this planet of Medusans or whatever, but it's considered very racist because it continues this trope of white people having to protect black people are dangerous, black people are primitive. You got all of that stuff, right? And this is space black people. So the next book I would say that's very racist is, and I think I'm gonna go with 5 books, right? So I'll just do 5 this time. Another one is by my man, who did Starship Troopers, and his name is escaping me, right? But I know the name of the book. What is it? Farnham's Freehold, right? Gosh, I can't remember though. That's my man. I just had his name. All right, I should write this down, but I'm driving. Anyway, Farnham's Freehold. This probably, to me, is the most racist book, right? But there's a lot of them because there's subtle tropes, right? So in this Farnham's Freehold, you're dealing with a dude who is a survivalist, and he builds a bunker, and the end of the world happens, and he takes in some neighbors and whoever, they have some experience. It's very much like the sequel to Cloverfield. So anyway, and I think that's where they got it from, but Cloverfield is not racist. So when they come out, somehow they're catapulted through time, and the post-apocalyptic world has really developed. And it developed to the point where there are civilizations and flying ships. So the people scoop up the women that were in the bunker with Farnham, and I'm spoiling it because F this book, right? So when they get to the place, the women are separated from the men, and the women are put through some breeding process where they have to be bred. They're constantly put into pregnancy labor. Now, the hilarious thing is, if you really want to continue a race, you're not using kind of white women right now. They're having fertility problems. You know, I'm thinking more like children of men, and you want to put these like, you know, black women would be the ones that you would want to have, or women of color, India, any of these women. I don't know what China's fertility is, but they seem to be overpopulated, so they got it figured out over there. But some of these European countries are having negative birth rates, okay? So I don't understand that, but that was half of it, right? The women are made to breed, and then the dude escapes. The dude with Farnham, he gets out the complex. On his way out the complex, he runs past the kitchen, and guess what they're eating, y'all? White people in the pot. They're boiling. He sees a floating white hand. So now they're promoting this black. Oh, and the people that run the world are black, and he's surprised because Farnham was a little racist, right? Or on that white rah-rah. He was a country boy. So very much like a lot of survivalists, right? So he, he's surprised and he's shocked. This is amazing. And so that's really the story. And he gets out. And when I saw this book has gone in and out of circulation. I do not know why it is so popular, but it was actually a banned book. So my next books I can run through real quick. Of course, I've already listed H.G. Wells' Time Machine, but I'm not going to put that as racist. I'll put that as stoking racial fears, because it doesn't really hate on black people, because it just says that black people will be the future of life on Earth. Now, you could say that they're very primitive, and you could say that they're controlled by the pale people that live underground. You know, you could do all of that if you want to, and add that would be racist. And I think that could be, you know, a racial thing, but it's merely just promotes the elements of biology and a biological fear that white people have of not being around in the future. So in some ways, the Time Machine could ignite racial fear or fear of black people. So that's why I have it here. But the next one is kind of not really a book. It's kind of what do you call it? A series or a constant narrative in this author's works, and that is what's his name? H.P. Lovecraft. H.P. Lovecraft. How I explain to you H.P. Lovecraft is racist is because he demonizes the dead and he demonizes black people in the same time. So black people in our great empire, Egypt, had an understanding of what the dead and afterlife was. In Egypt, we mummified our royalty so that they could carry on ceremoniously in the post-life, right? And white people, Western people, or H.P. Lovecraft didn't really understand that, right? A lot of them didn't understand that. So he continued this narrative saying that the dead is evil, right? So he's demonizing, he come up with this, you know, he's not the only one to push this narrative that the mummy is bad, and our genius Imhotep is the lead mummy. So he's not the only one to push this, but he also demonized the whole art, calling it necromancy, right? And necromancy and necromancer are the science of the dead. And he also connected it to a space demon that he calls Cthulhu. And this is also connected to space, black people, aliens. So when you see Lovecraft Country, they're playing on all of those tropes of black people being in space, right? And in Lovecraft Country, they don't demonize them, but he did. He demonized them in all of his mythology. So that's kind of it. I'm just gonna leave it at 4 books now. Of course, this book that's new, The White Plague, I'll let you know what it's about, and maybe that could just be the 5th book, but I'm going to find a better 5th book. I don't know if I'm going to use Foundation, because Foundation is really a magic Negro, but I'm going to use The White Plague as my 5th book for right now. And I'm going to put a thread up to get people to give me more books, but let me explain The White Plague. The White Plague is simple. There's a virus that kills only white people, and it was produced by black people, and that's simple it. What makes it racist is of course, a fear for black people, and most of the time it's not anything that black people will do. It's just the simple power of the DNA or the biology that we have that scares them, right? And in this story, they compound it by saying, not only do we have the power to annihilate them genetically, we're going to fast track it and actually just annihilate them. I don't know if he's smart enough to call the virus the melanin virus or not, or the sun virus. Have no idea, but it's a book. I don't know how well it's doing, but if anything, it's made me think of this list. So anyway, what's a racist book to you? I don't know why they feel they need to write these things, but yeah. So like, subscribe, share, and of course comment. I don't get many comments on YouTube. Sometimes I get them on Facebook where I repost. So yeah, like, comment, share, and subscribe. All right, I'm out. Sci-Fi Express Lane.